It's September 3rd, 1260. For 40 straight years, one army has rolled over half the known world. China, Persia, Russia, literally obliterating Baghdad and turning its rivers black with ink and blood. No one has stopped them. Nobody. This is the Mongol war machine, and they genuinely believe they are invincible, sent by God to conquer the entire planet. Now, they are thundering toward Egypt, confident that Cairo will fall within weeks. But hidden in the hills, one man, the Mamluk commander Baibars, is watching with ice in his veins. He knows the Mongol playbook inside out, and he is about to spring a trap so devastating it will shatter the myth of their invincibility forever. Today, we look at the Battle of Ain Jalut.
To understand this battle, you have to appreciate just how terrifying the Mongols were. Their entire military system was pure, brutal efficiency, wrapped in a terrifying psychological strategy. First, their archers were legendary. Every single warrior could fire up to 20 arrows per minute from horseback while riding at a full gallop. They were fast, they were mobile, and they were organized under a decimal system. Units of 10, 100, 1,000, and 10,000. Their communication was so precise, commanders could coordinate complex maneuvers across 50 miles of a battlefield just using flags and horns. But their biggest weapon was terror. When a Mongol scouting party appeared on your horizon, entire cities would surrender instantly because the stories were everywhere. Everyone knew, resist the Mongols and they will slaughter every living thing within your walls. Surrender immediately and you might survive as a subject. This system had conquered everything from Korea to Hungary. In 1258, they gave the Islamic world a final brutal demonstration, destroying Baghdad, the jewel of the world, and executing the caliph by rolling him in carpets and trampling him with horses. The message was clear: nothing could stop Mongol might.
The Mamluks, however, represented something entirely different. They weren't conscripted peasants or knights fighting for land. They were warriors' slaves, often purchased as children from the steppes and Caucasian mountains, and subjected to the most intensive military training program of the medieval world. From age 7, a Mamluk recruit learned only one thing: mounted combat. Not farming, not crafts, not politics, just warfare. They trained with the bow until they could split arrows at a full gallop. They trained with swords until blade work was instinctive. Crucially, they mastered coordinated cavalry charges that could shatter infantry formations like glass. The Mongol warrior was a superb generalist who could fight anywhere under any condition. The Mamluk was a precision instrument designed for one purpose: destroying enemy cavalry in close combat. The strategic situation in 1260 was absolutely desperate for the Islamic world. Hulagu Khan controlled everything from Iran to Syria. His commander, Kitbuka, was pushing toward Egypt with orders to eliminate the Mamluk Sultanate and complete the Mongol domination of the Middle East. Sultan Qutuz knew the math was brutal. The Mongols had never lost a major battle. They had better logistics, and they had 40 years of psychological momentum. But Qutuz had one advantage the Mongols had never faced: commanders who understood their tactical patterns. Baibars had studied Mongol methods and observed two key things: their preference for drawing enemies into open ground where their mobility was decisive, and their unwavering confidence in pursuing retreating forces, a tactic that had delivered countless victories. Baibars realized that if the Mamluk force could lure the Mongols into a broken, channeled terrain where their coordination would suffer and their pursuit would become restricted, then the battle that actually halted the Mongol Empire might finally be possible. Dawn broke over Ain Jalut on September 3rd, 1260. Kitbuka's Mongol vanguard crested the hills and saw exactly what they expected: a small Mamluk force positioned near the water source, maybe 3,000 cavalry in a loose formation. Kitbuka, confident, smiled. This would be over by noon. The Mongols descended, using their standard battle formation: heavy cavalry in the center, light archers on the flanks, reserves ready to exploit a breakthrough. It was the same arrangement that had crushed armies from Beijing to Budapest. As the distance closed, something unexpected happened. The Mamluk commander raised his banner and wheeled his horse around. The entire Mamluk force began pulling back, not in a chaotic rout, but in an organized retreat. Baibars had begun his performance. Mongol doctrine emphasized the pursuit of fleeing enemies. Every officer was trained that fleeing forces were vulnerable. The Mamluk retreat was perfectly timed, fast enough to suggest fear, slow enough to remain tempting. As the Mongols surged forward, their formation stretched. Their tight coordination started to unravel.
3 miles into the valley, Kitbuka made the fatal mistake. Seeing what he believed was a disintegrating enemy, he committed his reserves to the pursuit. The entire Mongol army was now strung out, their attention fixed on the retreating Mamluks. Then, Baibars triggered the trap. Hidden in the hills on both sides of the valley, 2 massive Mamluk heavy cavalry formations erupted from concealment. The psychological impact was devastating. One moment, the Mongols were chasing a beaten enemy. The next, they were surrounded by fresh cavalry charging from 3 directions at once. Mongol battlefield communications instantly collapsed in the dust and the deafening chaos. Their mobile archery advantage was nullified in the close quarters of mounted combat, where the superior training of the Mamluks took over. Their heavier armor absorbed the Mongol arrow strikes, and their swordsmanship carved through the Mongol lines. When Kitbuka fell with a Mamluk lance through his chest, resistance collapsed. The survivors who escaped that valley carried the news of the Mongol army's only true defeat in open battle. The Mongol war machine that had rolled from the Pacific to the Mediterranean was permanently halted at the borders of Egypt. Within a generation, the unified Mongol Empire fractured. Ain Jalut proved that Mongol military dominance wasn't based on supernatural power, but on tactics that could be countered by a brilliant commander. Baibars had accomplished what no one else had, turning Mongol strengths into fatal weaknesses through flawless execution. If you like stories about brilliant strategy changing the course of history, hit that like button and subscribe to History's Anomaly 24 for more.